Hello and welcome to next lecture in our comprehensive AI ML data science course. Now here we want to talk about indexing and slicing, and this might become slightly longer, but because this is important topic and it must be completed in one stretch only. Okay, so here this is the one example. This is a simple Numpy array, and I start with a very simple example that it is a one-dimensional array, and we want to print elements at this particular position. So I have already drawn one diagram also here that A0 is the element 1, A1 is the element 2, and A2 is the element 3. So the indexing starts from 0, that you have to remember in Python. Okay. So if they are find third element, then obviously its index will be 2, not 3. Okay. If you write 3, suppose here I write 3, then it will show an error, array index out of bound. Okay. Let us draw. So index 3 is out of bound because index 3 means actually fourth element. Okay. But there is no fourth element. So index 2 when you write, that means 0, 1 and 2. So that is the third element. Okay. Now if I then you can see that it is element at index 2 is 3. So you can easily find element at any index, and I can even find all elements in one row itself. That for I in range, say 3, print. Now I want to use f string. So f string. Now here a little bit carefully because I want only this to be variable, not the outer bracket to be variable. So only the index should be variable. Whatever should be variable, that is put in braces, and thereafter I will again put OK. So this is AI, and now next time is equal to. Now let us see what I write. Okay, so AI. This time I am putting everything inside the braces. So what will happen is when this loop moves from 0, 1 and 2, these will change 0, 1 and 2, but this symbol A will not change. While inside is equal to when the actual element is printed, then A and I both will change. Okay, and let us print. And you can see A0 equals 1, A1 equals 2, A2 equals 3. F string is very powerful thing, and it is considered more Pythonic. Now array indexing and slicing for a 2D array. So this is a very nice diagram. It shows what are the index. So if it is 0th row and 0th column, then you write index 0, 0. This is an array named A, and you write 0, 0. If it is 0th row and first column, then 0, 1. So that means the first index is the index of the index of the row number, and the second index is the column number for that element. So this is how all elements individually also can be accessed. For example, here if I come, now I have come to first row and 0th column. So that is why row number is 1, column number is 0. So 2 times indexing is required because it is a 2D array. So 2 square brackets, that is how indexing is required. Here only 1 square bracket was required because it was a 1D array. Now let us create that array. This is just a simple array 2D created in our usual way. Usual when I say you must pay attention that this is a list of lists which we are writing. This is the first list. Okay, so that is actually the first row, 4 elements. This is the second list. So that is the second row, 4 elements. This is the third list, and then everything, all 3 lists, they are put in one another list like this. Okay, so this is the array. Now if I want the array to be printed, then I can use a for loop like this. That for I in range, len of array 2D, okay, and len of array 2D, when you write, that will loop over the rows, or that means that will loop over 0, 1, 2 like this. And then for j in range, len of array 2D, comma, sorry, not comma, but 2D, 0. So 0 means this time it will loop over all the columns. So it is an nested loop, and how things will vary, try to understand. This will make I vary from 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so row wise, 0, 1 and 2. But with each value of I, j must vary for 0, 1, 2 and 3. 0, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so that means I is 0, then j is 0. That is first. So that will print what? A 0, 0. Then I is 0 again, but j is 1. So initially I will not suddenly start changing. First it will, all the changes in the inner loop index, that will occur. So I is 0 only again, but j is now 1. Then I is 0 only again, but j is 2. And I is 0 only, but j is 3. Then next time I is 1, and j is again starting from this 0, 1, 2, 3. So I remains constant for one stage. That means the row number remains constant, but I am traversing across the columns. 0th column, first column, second column, and third column. Similarly, first row, then again same 0th column, first column, second column, and third column. Okay, this I have put in a comment. This is a multi-line comment. Okay, now it is okay, fine. Let me keep. So if you put it this way, then all elements are printed. That element at A00 is A00 because my array is like that. You can put some numbers also here, 1, 2, 3, etc. But this is array of strings, that also you must note. So that means that all elements must be put in quotes or single inverted comma or maybe double inverted comma, but quotation mark is required. This is not number, but this is a string. Okay, and array must be homogeneous, so you cannot mix. If beginning first element is string, then all other elements also must be string. Fine. Now here for this kind of array, if you want to access individual element, this is how you have access. Okay, you have to specify both row index and column index, and you have index. So you have access that if row is 0 and column is 0, then I will get this element. Then if row is 1 somewhere here and column is still 0, then I will get this element. Similarly, if row is 2 and column is 0, then I will get this element. So you have to just go on specifying accordingly what you want to get. But suppose someone asks you that get entire first row, that means get these 4 elements in the beginning. Okay, so at that time what you will write is like this. So try to understand the difference between this and this. Here you are specifying 2 square brackets, that means you are specifying 2 indices, row index and column index, so it will zero down itself to individual element. That 0th row and 0th column, so wherever they intersect, 0th row means going horizontally like this and 0th column is going like this, so it intersects at this point, so only that element will be accessed. But here you are just specifying 0th row. For column you are not specifying anything. Okay, so if you do not specify anything, that means entire 0th row. Similarly, entire first row or entire second row. Now the question is, if I want to get only 0th column, then what I will do? Then I will put comma and this way. And oh, sorry, just a minute. Okay, this is one good thing that error occurred, because what is the issue here? You can see that this is this kind of 2D array, and if I just write this way, then it will trigger the error. Because I want 0th column, that is fine, but I want which row? Then I want all the rows. All the rows means 1/4. That is the output which I want. Okay, so either you can just write column, and now that you will see that there will not be any, and it shows that first, of course, this output now should not be row, but first column of. Okay, so first column is 1/4. Fine. So that is how first column can be accessed. Or otherwise, other way of doing is this: you can write explicitly that 0 to 2. Okay, because when you write 0:2, then let us say, then also same thing is obtained. This is like what? Start from 0 and go up to 2, but not including 2. Okay, that is the meaning. So then 0th and first, that will be obtained. But a concise way of doing that same thing is take all columns, because the array has take all rows. Array has 2 rows and you want to print entire column, means you obviously want to take all the rows. So when you want to take all the rows, just put column instead of rows. Okay, and you will get this. Fine. Now this was about indexing, and in the exercise some practice is given, so you will do that. Okay, now about slicing. Slicing is taking a subset from a given multidimensional array. So initially we will start simple thing, that we will create a 2D array, and then we will try to slice so that we get either individual row or maybe to a set of 2-3 rows or 2-3 columns like that. Okay, so let us try. First, let me put this much in another cell, because I don't want entire output to be produced at once. Okay, so this is our well-known example that np.arange 1 to 13 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 12, and then we are reshaping it 3 and -1. -1 means column number is not known, but 12 elements are there, so it will become a 3 rows and 4 column array. Okay, so either you can write that way or you can write this way. Both ways it will become same thing. Actually, same steps are being repeated here. The same steps are written in a step-by-step manner, and in the lower part where my shading portion is there at present, there everything is done in one, just as a revision. Okay, so this is what my array, which is created by np.arange 1 to 12 numbers, and this, after reshaping it, it has converted itself into 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, and now this is the same thing, but everything is specified in one step. Okay, so then you can write it this way and you get the output. Now you are asked slice first 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, and this don't consider this because here I think 3, 4 is not there, so don't look at this diagram. Okay, let me take it away from the vision. Okay, so slice first 2 rows and first 2 columns of this reshaped array. Now first 2 rows means first you will take this much. These are 2 rows, but then you don't want all these elements. Total there will be 8 elements, but take only first 2 columns out of that. So at that time you will take these 2 and these 2. Okay, so output should contain 5 and 1, 2 and 5, 6. Okay, now let us see how to get. So as I just now said, you can explicitly write 0:2, 0:2. So that will be first 2 rows. Okay, and that means 0th row and first row, because 0:2 means up to 2 but not including 2. Okay, up to 2 but not including 2. So 0th and first row and 0th and first column. So you can see that it is 1 5 and 5, sorry, 1 2 and 5 6. So these element and this element which are common to first two rows also and first two columns also, they are fetched. Now you can fetch any other subset from that. For example, now I can bring that again. Then here some example is given that create an array like this 1 2 3 3 4 5 and 4 5 6, and then fetch maybe only, okay, let us create only. So maybe array, say this time I write b equals np dot array, and inside a list contains 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, even if I want to create 2D array or any higher dimension, it is, now we know the trick that first I will create one 1D array and then I use reshape. And reshape which way? So I want 3 rows. So 3 rows. How many columns? That I don't even write. So for which I write -1. -1 means I am telling Numpy that I don't know the number of columns. And sorry, reshape spelling. Okay, so then let me print D and let us see if I want what we want. Yes, that is exactly like what is below, that is okay. Now they have shown by this diagram that if I write array 0 1, so in my case array is not the name but D is not the name, so I should get 1 2 3. So print B and then 0 colon 1. Okay, so that means first row, because there is no comma. So when there is no comma, all the columns will be included. So you can see 1 2 3 I am getting. Similarly, here they are saying that if I want to get these two, so that means row number 1, sorry, row number 1 and row number 2. So 0th row, that green color, and first row and second row. Okay, so in that case, I will say print B, and in there I will write, I don't want 0th row, so I will not begin from 0. I want first and second row, so I will start and go up to 3. Then I write column 3, that means up to 3 but not including 3. Okay, and I have written 2, why I don't know. I mean 2 square brackets are not needed. Okay, and you can see 3 4 5 4 5 6. Fine. Now if I want to fetch this element, this element is where? This element is in row wise, it is in 0th and first row, this yellow colored element. Okay, first row, and column wise also it is in 0th and first column. Okay, so if I want to fetch only that element, then I can write 2 ways. One is print B, and then I can write 0 1, 1 1. Okay, let us see what it gives. It gives 4. They have given something like this, print B, because my array name is not F but B. So 1 colon 2 1 colon 2. Let us see what does that create. 1 colon 2 1 colon 2. But we have seen that colon 2 just means that up to 2 but not including 2. So that is actually same one and the same thing, that you want to include only the first element. Sorry, what is the issue? I think, oh sorry, this should not be there. Okay. Yes. So I am getting the same thing. You can see, however, the difference. The difference here is that here I get it as kind of matrix or 2 square brackets are there. While by previous method I got individual element. Okay, that element at 1 1. So here I got individual element. So depending upon what is your requirement, you should be able to use both notations. Similarly, this if you want to write, that will create this 0th column. Okay, so 0th column means clear that you want all the rows. So you want all the rows. So print B, and then here I can write either just column. Just column if I write, that means I want all the rows. And in the columns I can write 0 to 1. So that means 0 to 1 but not including 1. This is the first column, first 2 4 5, that is the first column. So I don't want that, I want only 1 3 4. Okay, so let us print, and I get 1 3 4. They have given 0 colon 3 0 colon 1, but that is one and the same thing. 0 colon 3 means also take all the rows. So that putting only colon is some direct way, and if you want to be explicit for more readability of your code, you can write that way. So both. Okay, fine. Now this much was about 2D array. Now about 3D array. So for the 3D array, it is difficult to visualize things and everything. Still, I have tried to draw, create one this kind of code for plotting and everything. and I got this kind of plot also, which I took the screenshot afterwards. But don't worry and don't try to plot how. But this is basically creating an array starting from A, taking elements from A to I. I think excluding J. Perhaps there is no J here. No J. Okay, fine. So just randomly I chose some letters from alphabet and I am creating my array. And then I am printing that array and then I am plotting that array in a three-dimensional view. So here you will see the power of that plotly. But we are going to take this visualization library later on. So this is just for okay. This is that array and a little bit bigger. And I don't know how I created that shape. I rotated because the code is such that okay, E is somewhere here. So maybe I rotated by other axis. Okay, yeah, E is anyway, but by rotating this, you can see that a nice 3D plot is obtained for my array. So by rotating this, I ultimately got one such position, and I made a screenshot of that. Fine. Now this here, I am taking a subset from this array, multi-dimensional array that is having 0 to 2. Now when I take, this is a 3D array, so when I take 0 to 2, this is actually take how many layers. So take only one layer. Okay. Then this says how many rows and this says how many columns from that layer. So if I first let me plot the shape of the array which I have created, then it is 4, 3, 2. So there are 4 layers and 3 rows and 3 columns. So if I rotate it appropriately, then you will be able to perhaps, yeah, this way at least it is visible that there are 4 layers and 3 rows. 3 rows means again I will have to rotate because currently 4 rows are there. So rotation plotly allows 2 different types of rotation. One is this and another is this kind. Depth is 2. It is difficult to adjust. Even for getting that screenshot also I had to adjust a lot. Okay, fine. Something like this. Okay, so 3 rows and then 2 is the depth. Okay, so this is the depth. And if you take your mouse here, then you will even know what are the coordinates of that point and which element is present. E is present there. Okay, so this is the shape. Now take how many layers? Take only one layer because to take 2 layers, 0th and first layer. 2 will not be included, so 0 and 1. Then take how many rows? Then take again 2 rows, 0th and first, and then take how many columns? Then that. So from this, I want to take now here even in this diagram after a lot of adjusting also things start from bottom to top. Okay, so this is the 0th layer, this is the first layer. So when I say this 0 and 1, that means take 0th and first layer. So what I will take, that means this whole layer A, B, C, F, E, D. One layer and then F and whatever this is there, these and F, I, H, E, B, D. That second layer also I will take. Fine. Second means first, index wise. Okay. Then from that take only 2 rows. So only 2 rows from the 2 whole layers. Rows are here, you can see. So take only this A and F and second B and I. Don't take this C. Okay, that is the meaning because rows are here. So A is starting one row, B is starting another row, and C is starting another row. So take only A and B. So now what will, after this much, what I will get? I will get this subset somewhere A, B, E, D, and on the back side E, D, D, D. Okay, so that means this kind of subset is rather B, I, here B, I, B, D. This. Now from that also now says that take only 2 columns. So now columns are here depth wise. So don't take both columns. So what you will get A, B and E, D. Okay, that is the 2 columns, and here also you will get F, I and B, D perhaps. Okay, let us print and get yes A, D, A, D. Okay, D, E, A, D, D, E. So you get this layer, lower layer, and then F, D, I, B. So F, D and I, B. So upper layer. You can check that it has taken 2 rows. It has taken 2 layers. This whole was first layer and this whole was second layer. But from the layer, if I would have taken entire layer, I would have taken 3 rows. This is the row axis, remember? Okay. But I have taken only 2 rows. Then it has taken only 2 columns. So that is why this F and D both are there. And actually there are only 2 columns. So that means it has taken all the columns. If I write 1 here, then take only 1 column. Then let us see what output should be obtained. Only I think this should be obtained. The one in the back column, that is D, B, E and D. D, B, E and D, which I think will not be obtained. So you can see A, B, the front column, and F, I, this column. So only this one square like element, I am moving my cursor A, B, and then F and I, that are obtained. Okay, so slicing in a 3-dimensional or multi-dimensional array comes only with the practice, but I have tried my best. And don't worry about how this diagram is obtained and all that. We are going to do detailed discussion about various visualization libraries, Matplotlib, Plotly, and this one, that is C1. Okay, so we will continue in next lecture. That is, or let us finish, I think, this one. Conditional. Okay, let next lecture.